Good morning children, Sairam. So, in the previous session, we worked on all the metric conversion and how one metric unit is being converted into another metric unit based on their formulas, right? And also we have seen the exercise 1.2 sums. Okay, so in the previous session we've learned only the 4 sums, so the balance sums we are going to see in this session. Okay children, so I have also given you 2 homeworks, so please do that homework in your rough book and take a picture and send it to me so that I will see whether the answers are correct. Okay children, so let's move on to today's session. So the first sum is find the difference between the greatest and the least numbers that can be written using the digits 6, 2, 7, 4, 3 each only once. So let me repeat, find the difference between the greatest and the least numbers that can be used using the digits 6, 2, 7, 4, 3 each only once. So from the question it is very thorough that we want to find out the greatest and the least numbers using the digits that are given here. So in the first session we saw, right? So shifting digits. So this is where you have to do the shifting digits now. So find out the greatest digit, that is the greatest number from the given digits. So there are numbers as 6, 2, 7, 4, 3. So among these the greatest digit is 7. So put 7 in the first place, followed by 6, 4, 3 and 2. So the least number will be the 2, 3, 4, 6, 7. So the greatest number is a 7, 6, 4, 3, 2 and the least number will be the alternate arrangement of numbers, that is from the last to the first. Now in the question they have been asked what is the difference between the greatest and the least numbers that can be written using the digits 6, 2, 7, 4 and 3. So once we found out the greatest and the least number, it is very easy to get the difference between the two numbers. So whenever the word difference comes, it is clear that we have to subtract from the highest number to the lowest number, right? So what will be the difference? So the difference will be 52,965. So what is the difference? 52,965. So children, I want you to write all these numbers in separate pages so that you will have a clear understanding of each and every sum. So if you have any doubts, you can ask me, or when we come to class, we will revise it once again. Okay children? So the next sum is a machine on an average manufactures 2,825 screws a day. So let me repeat, a machine on an average manufactures 2,825 screws a day. How many screws did it produce in the month of January 2006? So what is the answer? So how can you find out the solution for this? So in a factory, on an average, daily they are producing 2825 screws. So how many screws they are producing it for the month of January? So for this, first you got to know how many days are there in the month January. So in your lower classes, you would have learned that January has 31 days, right? So now you got to find out the number of screws manufactured in January. For that, you have to multiply 2825 into 31 days. So what will be the answer, children? 87,575. So as you know that in multiplication, when you are given two digits, what you have to do is, the first thing is you have to multiply each and every number with 1 that is given here in the rightmost corner. So 5 ones are 5, 2 ones are 2, 8 ones are 8, 2 ones are 2, and when you proceed to the second step, you have to put 0 on towards your right and then start with the second number, that is 3. So 5 threes are 15, 5 has to come down and 1 will be carried over, and 8 threes are 24. So 24 plus 3 will give you 27. So 7 will come down and 2 will go on top. So 3 twos are 6 and 6 will be followed by 6 will be added with 2 that has been already carried over, and 8 comes down. So when you add all these things, that is 5 plus 0 will give you 5, 5 plus 2 will give you 7, 8 plus 7 will give you 15, and 4 plus 2 will give you 6, plus the carried one 7, and 8 will come as it is. So the number of screws manufactured in January is 87,575. Okay, so we move on to the next sum. A merchant had 78,592 rupees with her. She placed an order for purchasing 40 radio sets at 1,200 each. How much money will remain with her after the purchase? So assume that you are going to the market to buy 40 radio sets. You are having 72,592. Okay, children. Now you are going to buy 40 radio sets at a price of 1,200 each. That is, one radio cost 1,200. Okay. Now how will you find out what is the amount which will remain after the purchase? So first you have to write down the statements. So the merchant had the total money of 78,592. So the number of radio sets were 40. Cost of one radio set is 1,200. So first you got to find out how much you have spent, and then you have to find out how much is remaining. So to find out how much you have spent, you have to multiply 1,200 into 40. So the answer will be 48,000, right? Now 48,000 is being spent on the purchase of radio sets. You got to find out how much balance amount is there. For that you have to subtract 78,592 minus 48,000. So that will give you 30,592. So did you understand, children? Whenever a sum is asked like this, you have to first multiply, get the amount that has been spent, and later you have to find out what is remaining after the purchase using the subtraction. Okay, children? So now we are going to go to the next sum. A student multiplied 7,236 by 65 instead of multiplying by 56. By how much was his answer greater than the correct answer? So normally this is a mistake that is committed everywhere, right? So instead of multiplying by 65, the student has been multiplied by 56. So now the sum is to find out how much was the answer greater than the correct answer. Okay, so for that you have to first find out the difference between 65 and 56. So what is the difference between 65 and 56, children? It is 9. So you got the answer as 9. Now you have to find out the difference between the correct and the wrong answer. So how will you find out? So write down the number as 7,236 and multiply that with the number 9, which is the difference between 65 and 56. Now when you multiply 7,236 into 9, you will get 65,124. So this is the answer, and this is the difference between the correct and the incorrect answer. So children, did you understand how this sum is working? Yes? So this is a pretty difficult sum, but when you understand this concept, it is a very, very easy sum. Okay, children? So let's go on to the ninth sum. So here, to stitch a shirt, 2 meters 15 centimeters cloth is needed. So out of 40 meters cloth, how many shirts can be stitched and how much cloth will remain? So here you have the question like this. You want to stitch a shirt which requires 2 meters and 15 centimeters of cloth, and you have 40 meters of cloth. So now you got to find out how many shirts can be stitched and how much cloth will remain. So the first step you have to do is write down what is the total length of the cloth you have. So what is the total length of the cloth you have? It is 40 meters. So whenever two units of number are given, like 2 meters and 15 centimeters, you have to convert the greater number into the smaller number, that is meters into centimeter. Okay, children? Because it is pretty difficult to convert centimeters into meters. Okay, so now you convert 2 meters into centimeters. Okay, children? Now here the total length of the cloth 40 meters is converted as 4000 centimeter. So 1 meter is equal to 100 centimeter. So this is the formula that has to be written whenever a sum is asked. Okay, this formula carries 1 mark in each and every sum that you do under this metric conversion. Okay, children? Now 40 into 100 is 4000 centimeter. Now the cloth required to stitch one shirt is equal to 2 meters and 15 centimeters. That is 2 meter here is again converted into 2 into 100. So it will become 215 centimeters. Now, when you divide 4000 into 215, you will get the answer as 18 and the remainder as 130. So, the answer will be the number of shirts that can be stitched from 40 meters cloth is 18 shirts and 130 centimeters of cloth is left out. Okay children, so you want me to explain this division part? Yes, let me explain it to you. So when 4000 is divided by 215, first you got to take out the first three numbers of the dividend, right? So you take 400. So when 400 is divided by 215, it goes in 1 times into 15. So write 1 on the top and write 215 below. So when 400 is subtracted from 215, you get 185 as the answer. So once you get 185, you compare it with the 215. So is it a smaller number than 215? Yes, 185 is smaller than 215. So it cannot be divided. So you want to carry down the 0 which is present using an arrow mark down. So it will become 1850. So in what times 1850 will go in 215? So at the bottom of your page, you just calculate and see how many times 215 is going in 8. So it will go it in 8 times, and 215 into 8 is 1720. So when you subtract 1720 from 1850, you will get 130 as the remainder. So the answer is number of shirts that can be stitched from 40 meters is 18 shirts and 130 centimeter of cloth is left out. So what it is? 18 shirts can be stitched and 130 centimeter cloth is left out. Okay children, did you understand? So now we are going to the 10th sum. So let me read out the 10th sum. Medicine is packed in boxes, each weighing 4 kg and 500 grams. How many such boxes can be loaded in a van which cannot carry beyond 800 kgs? So the medicines are packed in boxes, each weighing 4 kg and 500 grams. So if the total amount that can be loaded in a van is 800 kg, how many boxes can be loaded in a van? This is what the question is. So for the first thing, you have to convert the kilograms into grams so that it will be very easy. So 1 kg is equal to 1000 grams. As you know that 1 kg is equal to 1000 grams. Now 4 into 1000 will become 4000, plus that 500 grams will be added to that, giving out the answer as 4500 kgs. Sorry, kgs no, it's grams. 4500 grams. Now the maximum weight of the van is 800 kgs. When you convert 800 kgs into 1000, you will get it as 8 lakhs gram. Okay. So number of boxes that can be loaded in the van has to be calculated as 8 lakhs divided by 4500. So when you divide 8 lakhs into 4500, you will get 177 as the answer. Right? So as you know this division, I am not explaining it once more so that you can do it and see in your notebooks. Okay children? So it is 177 boxes can be loaded in a van that can carry only 800 kilograms. Okay children, so work out these problems, and once you get any doubts, please feel free to ask me at any time. Okay, so the next sum is the distance between the school and the house of a student is 1 kilometer and 875 meters. Every day she walks both ways. Find the total distance covered by her in 6 days. Right children? So this is about a student who is walking to the house every day. So walking from house to the school every day. So every day she is traveling 1 kilometers and 875 meters from the house to the school. Right? So every day she is walking for 2 times. Right? One from school to home, and then after school finishes she is walking back from school to the home. So that is, she is walking twice in a day. And we have to calculate what is the total distance that is covered by her in 6 days. So what is the thing that we have to find out? We have to find out the total distance covered by her in 6 days. Right children? So let's go on to solving out the problem. First, write down what is the distance between the school and the home. So it is 1 kilometers 875 meters. As I told you, whenever a type of sum is given in two different terms, convert them into only one unit. Right? It is very easy to convert kilometers into meters. Okay? So that is why we are converting this 1 kilometer into 1000 meter. So when you add 1000 meters plus 875 meters, you get 1875 meters. As the student walks both the way, that is twice in a day, that is being multiplied into 2 times. Okay? So now we are going to multiply 1875 into 2. So 5 2s are 10, 0 will come down and 1 will be carried over. So 7 2s are 14, plus 1, 5 will come down and 1 will be carried over. So 8 2s are 16, plus 1, 17, 7 will be at the down and 1 will be carried over. 2 1s are 2, plus 1, it becomes 3. So the distance travelled by the student in one day is 3750 meters. Right children? How much? 3750 meters. Now we have to find it out for 6 days. So what we have to do? Multiply 3750 into 6. So when 6 is multiplied by 0, it gives you 0. 6 5s are 30. So 0 down and 3 carried over. 7 6 are 42. So 2 will be, so it's already carried over, 3 is already carried over. So we get 45. So 5 will be down and 4 will be carried over. 6 3s are 18. Plus we have to add whatever is carried over. So it becomes 22. So the answer is 22,500. So always the answer should be in terms of kilometers and meters separately. Right? So you have to write it like 22 kilometers and 500 meters. Okay? So how will you write it down? 22 kilometers and 500 meters. So the total distance covered by the student in 6 days is 22 kilometers 500 meters. Okay children? So the next sum is the final sum we are going to see, and followed by, I have given you 2 sums as homework. You got to do those 2 sums and show it to me. Okay children? Now this is a very easy sum, yet a very important sum also. So please pay attention. A vessel has 4 liters and 500 ml of curd. In how many glasses, each of 25 ml capacity, can it be filled? Okay, so the quantity of curd in the vessel is 4 liters and 500 ml. As I told you, when there are two separate units given, you got to convert them into a smaller unit. That is, 4 liters is converted into milliliters. So 1 liter is equal to 1000 ml. So 4 liters will be 4000 ml plus the 500 ml that has been already given there is added. So you get 4500 ml. Okay children. Now we are going to see how many glasses of curd can be filled with 4 liters and 500 ml. Okay, so now we got to divide them. Whenever it is asked like this, you need not multiply, instead you have to divide. Okay, so 4500 divided by 25 will give you 180. Okay, so therefore the number of glasses that can be filled with curd is 180 glasses. Okay children, whenever a question is asked like this, you have a larger amount and you want to find out how much is there when one particular glass is given this much quantity, you have to divide. You need not multiply for this. Multiply will be always in terms when one is given in so much unit and it has to be for a larger number. That time you have to multiply. Whenever a bigger amount is given and one unit is given, you have to divide. Okay children, so we have two homework sums given and these are the homework sums. Let me read it out for you. So the town newspaper is published every day. One copy has 12 pages. Every day 11,980 copies are printed. How many total pages are printed every day? So in a town newspaper, every day newspapers are being published. So one copy has 12 pages. Okay, one copy has 12 pages and every day 11,980 copies are printed. So how many total pages are printed every day? So I told you, when one unit is given and you are asked to find out for a bigger unit, you should always what? Multiply. So in this place you should multiply and get me the answer. Okay children, here the population of Chennai was 2,35,471 in the year 2019. Now in the year 2020 it was found to be increased by 72,958. What was the population of the city in 2020? So the population of Chennai was 2,35,471 in the last year, and in this year it is found that the population is increased, that is it has been increased in amount by 72,958. So what will be the population of the city? So always when the word increased come, it should be added. Okay children, so do the sums properly, go through each and every sum, write it down so that you will never forget. Okay, thank you children.